name is Audra.
And my name is Michaela.
And today is all about energy.
How do we make the energy that powers our homes?
The law of conservation of energy states that energy cannot be created nor destroyed. Energy just changes from one form to another. So a ball sitting at the top of the hill has potential energy. As it comes down, it has kinetic energy. We can also think of a water wheel. A water wheel takes the input of mechanical energy from the water and it sends it to a generator, which is able to turn that into electrical energy.
Who supplies us with electricity?
Tennessee Valley Authority. TVA was started May 18, 1933 by the TVA Act signed by Franklin Delano Roosevelt. TVA was started to solve integrated resource management problems for the area's needs.
What is integrated resource management?
So TVA solves a lot of different problems. They don't just supply us with energy. They look at irrigation, they also look at disease prevention. TVA does a number of things that helps people in our area.
Where do they get the energy from?
TVA harness their energy using water power, the burning of coal, natural gas, solar, and wind power.
How do they get energy from water?
Well, first let's look at how potential energy can turn into kinetic energy, okay? And we'll also look at how mechanical energy can then be turned into electrical energy that can power things. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're going to look at this generator. Okay. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take mechanical energy by turning this wheel, okay? And that mechanical energy, it spins a coiled wire in between two magnets that's able to generate electricity that can turn on this light. Give it a turn and let's see what happens. Awesome. So you can see that this mechanical energy turns into electrical energy that's able to power this light.
I still don't understand how this helps create electricity.
Okay, well, I have a turbine here. All right. And so when this turbine moves, as you can see, it moves other pieces, okay? And as the turbine moves, it can move something inside of a generator that can turn and create electricity, okay? And so we'll see this in a very similar experiment like the water wheel. So a water wheel takes fast-moving fluids, okay, like water, and it's able to turn this water wheel that's able to turn these gears that moves this generator that is then able to turn on light bulbs. So show me the parts of this water wheel and how they work.
If you spin the water wheel, it will spin these gears, which ultimately spin this generator to power this LED light.
Awesome, and so that's how water power works. Currently, TVA has 29 power generating dams. And the power that they use from these dams is able to be used in your homes. So we're able to see how that mechanical energy from water is used by TVA to help power homes in our area. TVA uses a lot of different fuels for energy sources. So let's move on to coal. So in the 1950s, TVA opened their first coal-fired plants.
Like charcoal?
Like charcoal? No. Not quite like charcoal, but they're similar sources. Coal is a naturally occurring source where charcoal is man-made. But we can think about charcoal as we're thinking about how we heat up things. Have you ever been to a barbecue?
Yes, ma'am. I can't wait for the summertime and Independence holidays. We always barbecue.
Okay. So how do you heat up the food?
On the grill?
I know on the grill, but how does it work? How does it happen?
Well, my dad adds more charcoal to the grill if we start to get low.
Okay, so he lights the charcoal on fire, right? And so that heat from that fire is able to cook the food, okay? So coal-fired plants use a very similar thought process. They take coal and they heat it, and that heat is able to also heat water, and that water turns into steam, and that steam is then able to turn turbines.
Steam can really turn turbines?
Yes, steam can turn turbines, and that steam is able to do work, and that work we can use to produce electricity. And that is how TVA produces steam using their coal plants. 58% of TVA's energy sources used to come from coal, but currently only 15% of their energy sources are derived from coal. TVA really cares about the environment, and so they've gone through a lot of measures to make sure that they're reducing their carbon emissions. They used to have 11 coal-fired plants, but now they've closed 5 of those units, and now they only have 6 units currently operating.
So we've been talking a lot about renewable resources lately. How is TVA using renewable resources?
So let's remember, TVA started with water power, which is renewable resources. And TVA has launched the first renewable resource program called Green Switch that has been in operation for over 20 years. They have a full suite of programs through TVA Green to support the growth of renewable energy to encourage solar production throughout the valley.
How does solar energy work?
Solar energy works through the use of solar panels. A solar panel works by allowing photons of particles of light to knock electrons from their atoms. I have a solar panel. Do you want to see how it works?
Sure.
So we're going to turn on this light, and as we get closer to our solar panel, we should be able to see our man working. This solar panel is connected to this motor, and this motor is able to move these gears, which ultimately is able to spin our little man. Let's move on to our last energy source, wind power. TVA debuted the first commercial scale wind project in the Southeast in 2001. Then by popular demand, expanded it in 2004. Turns out we can't generate much energy from the wind in the Southeast, so TVA buys the wind energy in its mix today. Wind energy works by wind spinning the blades of a turbine that turns the generator to produce electricity. Wind energy has been used by farmers for a long time in windmills and by sailors powering boats. Let's look at this windmill and how we can use wind power to do work. So just like with most wind turbines, sometimes you have to give it a little input energy to get it started. And so as you can see, this wind turbine is moving and it's causing these gears to move. And as these gears move and this turns, it's able to fill up this cup with water. And so windmills of this type that are able to create some type of movement, to do some type of job, have been utilized for thousands of years. Wind power is really cool because there's so many experiments that you can do at home. Let's look at this wind power car and let's see if we can make it go. Isn't that really cool? Let's see if we can make a wind power car that we can make at home. So the first thing that we need is some cardboard. So take this piece of cardboard and let's cut it into a nice even square. Okay. So our next step is we're going to grab a straw. And we're going to tape this straw to the bottom of the car. And so let's get nice little tape on both those ends. So let's tape it here. And then let's tape it closer to the ends. All right, now let's repeat, because right now we're trying to create the axles, or where we're gonna place our wheels. And now we have the first parts of our axles. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut off the excess of the straws that we have on the side. So let's make a little cut about 1/2 inch past right there. Awesome. And we're just gonna cut off those pieces of straw. So we're gonna take a wooden skewer, a skewer that you can find to make kebabs if you're hungry. So we're gonna take some of these wooden skewers that we found from the kitchen, and we're going to place them inside of the straws as part of our axle. Okay, and we're gonna do the same thing that we did before. With the straw, we're gonna cut off the excess that we have at the end. So I'm going to, as the adult, I'm going to make some nice little cuts, because as you're using scissors and other sharp objects, always make sure that you have a parent or guardian nearby, because we wanna make sure that all experiments stay safe. So as we're completing this experiment, the first step is to go grab a parent and let them know that you need help with cutting an object. And so we're just gonna cut that piece here, and to make it easier, we'll make one cut on each side. And we'll break that. And we will cut this side. So that now we have our axles, and now we have our wooden skewers inside of our straws, and our axles are created. Now we have to make some wheels. So we found some bottle caps that we're going to use as our wheels. It's really important that you have an adult handy so that they can poke the holes inside of the wheels for you so that you can place them on top of your axle. So what we're going to do is, now that we've poked our holes, we're going to slide our wooden skewer and make sure that our wheel stops on the end. Now place this inside of the axle, and let's put the other wheel on the other side. Now that we have our first set of wheels together, let's go move on to our second set. Turn around the other one, this one. And now we have our axle completed. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna flip our car over so that we can start putting in our sail or our mast. So now we need to grab our adult so that we can poke another hole inside of our cardboard. So if you will pass me the scissors, please. We're just going to take this and poke a nice little hole in the middle. Now we're going to take another skewer, and we took a piece of cardstock to create our sail. So now you can insert this sail inside, and let's tape the bottom. Let's tape the bottom to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere. So I'll hold this for you as you add tape to the bottom. And then we can add tape to the top as well. Okay, let's add some tape to the top to keep it secure and in place. Awesome. And so now that we have that mast all nice and secure in the center, we're gonna add our sail to it. And so we can simply fold it like this so that we can make sure that the skewer goes through both pieces. After we have our indentation, we can make a little cut. Let's see if our wind powered car works. We're gonna turn on our fan, add a little wind, And let's see if our car goes. That is pretty awesome.
I learned so much today. First, energy cannot be created nor destroyed, but can change from one energy form to another. A company called TVA generates our power and helps solve solutions in our area to all types of problems. TVA produces electricity using water, coal, nuclear, gas, and renewable energy resources. Most of these resources rotate a turbine that can spin a generator to yield electricity. TVA previously used coal as a major source of power generation, but has made a green energy commitment to the community that has limited carbon emissions and created a more stable environment. This is also cool. I think I want to work for TVA someday. Do you think I could?
Of course. To find out more information, you can go to www.tva.com to find more information about power generation, about job opportunities, and much more.